Hello everyone and welcome back. They are the biggest coins in modern history, but most people treat them like junk. If you have an Eisenhower dollar from 1971, 1972D, 1974, or 1978D, you might be holding a $5,000 mistake. While the bank will only give you $1 for these, collectors are scouring the earth for the friendly eagle and the Type 2 varieties. I am going to show you the one tiny detail on the moon that separates a common coin from a high-value rarity. 1978 was the last year the U.S. Mint ever made a giant dollar coin, and they went out with a bangs. Most of these 1978D and 1974 dollars were beat up in circulation, making pristine versions nearly non-existent. If yours looks shiny or has a specific D mint mark error, you aren't looking at $1, you're re-looking at a collector's holy grail. Stay tuned, because I am revealing the secret grades that make these 4 years the most profitable hunt in coin collecting. 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The United States 1971 Eisenhower dollar enters history with a heavy sound and an even heavier purpose. This coin was not created quietly. It was born from pressure politics and a nation searching for stability after loss. When Dwight D. Eisenhower passed away, America demanded a memorial that carried strength, authority, and permanence. The decision to place his image on the dollar coin was deliberate and symbolic. This was not just currency. This was a message in metal. The year 1971 marked the return of the dollar coin after a long absence, and the first large dollar struck since the peace dollar era ended in 1935. That gap created anticipation and uncertainty. Collectors did not know how this coin would behave in circulation or in history. The mint did not know either. The Eisenhower dollar was an experiment conducted on a national scale. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was struck in copper nickel-clad for circulation and in special silver-clad versions for collectors. But the circulating version carried the real story because it entered the hands of the public. It was large. It was heavy. It felt old-fashioned in a modernizing world. This contrast shaped its fate from the first day. The obverse features a bold portrait of Eisenhower looking left, calm, controlled, and resolute. It is a face associated with victory, restraint, and authority. The reverse shows the Apollo 11 eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch. This design connects military leadership with peaceful exploration and technological triumph. No other American coin carries this specific dual symbolism. That alone makes the 1971 issue historically charged. Circulated examples of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar tell a brutal story of use and rejection. The coin was too large for vending machines, too heavy for pockets, and too unfamiliar for daily commerce. Many Americans spent them once and avoided them afterward. This resulted in coins being stored mishandled or dumped back into banks where they were bagged and transported in bulk. These bags caused severe contact, marks, heavy abrasions, and surface damage even before circulation wear occurred. This is why high-grade circulated pieces are surprisingly difficult to locate. The shocking truth is that circulation did not preserve these coins. It destroyed them. The Denver Mint did not strike the 1971 Eisenhower dollar. That year saw production only from Philadelphia and San Francisco. But circulated condition coins, regardless of mint origin, share similar wear patterns. Flattened high points bag marks across Eisenhower cheek and jawline, and dulling of the eagle feathers are common. The coin surface often appears lifeless not because of age, but because of the violent way these coins were handled in storage and transport. This makes eye appeal a rare quality even in lightly circulated examples. Collectors must look closely at luster flow and strike sharpness to separate average survivors from exceptional ones. In circulated condition, the value of a 1971 Eisenhower dollar is modest, but not meaningless. Most examples trade near face value ranging from $1 to $3, depending on wear and eye appeal. But this surface-level valuation hides deeper collector interest. The 1971 issue represents the first year of the series, and first-year coins always carry long-term significance. Collectors building Eisenhower sets require this date, and demand never disappears. What changes is quality. The market punishes damaged coins and rewards originality. A circulated coin with honest where minimal contact marks and natural toning can outperform expectations. There is also the matter of varieties, which adds another layer of intrigue to the 1971 Eisenhower dollar. Some coins exhibit different reverse hub types, particularly the earth details above the eagle. Collectors refer to these as different earth varieties, and although subtle, they represent the trial phase of the series. These are not dramatic errors, but they are evidence of experimentation and transition at the mint. This is the moment when design was still being refined, and that moment is frozen in the 1971 coins. Collectors who understand this look closer. They do not dismiss circulated coins. They study them. The emotional weight of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar cannot be overstated. This coin arrived during a time of war fatigue, economic uncertainty, and cultural change. The Apollo program had just achieved the impossible, and the country needed symbols of unity and progress. This coin delivered both. It placed the moon landing into everyday life and connected it to a trusted leader from the past. That combination is powerful. Even today, holding a worn 1971 Eisenhower dollar feels different from holding other modern coins. It carries gravity. In the 2025 market, circulated 1971 Eisenhower dollars remain accessible but undervalued by casual observers. This is where opportunity lies. Collectors who focus only on rarity miss narrative power. And narrative power drives long-term desirability. As modern collectors shift toward historically meaningful coins, demand for first-year Eisenhower dollars continues to stabilize. The coin may never explode in value, but it will never disappear from collector consciousness either. That balance makes it resilient. A circulated 1971 Eisenhower dollar is a survivor. It endured rejection, mishandling, and neglect. Yet it still carries the face of a general and the image of a lunar landing. That contrast between physical wear and symbolic strength is what defines this coin. It is not pristine. It is not rare. But it is real. And in numismatics, authenticity often outlasts perfection. This coin does not need to shine to command respect. It only needs to exist. This is only the beginning of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar story. The deeper you look, the more tension you find between intention and outcome, between design and reality, between legacy and utility. That tension is what keeps collectors coming back. Because the most powerful coins are not the ones that performed perfectly. They are the ones that reveal the truth about the era that created them. 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar. The United States 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar enters the story at a moment when confidence and confusion coexist inside American coinage. This coin was never meant to be rare. It was meant to be used, understood, and trusted. Yet history had other plans. By 1972, the Eisenhower dollar was already revealing cracks in the grand experiment launched just 1 year earlier. The public had spoken quietly but clearly. They did not want a large, heavy dollar in daily life. And yet the Denver Mint continued striking millions, pushing forward with momentum rather than demand. This decision shaped the destiny of the 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar and defined its identity in circulated condition. The obverse of the coin carries the same resolute portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, calm, firm, and distant. His expression does not change, but the context does. In 1972, the nation was deep into the Vietnam War. Political tension was rising and trust in institutions was weakening. This made the image of a steady wartime leader both comforting and ironic. The reverse remains the Apollo 11 eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch. This design still symbolized technological triumph, but now it felt slightly removed from daily reality. The coin was already beginning to feel like a symbol without a function. Circulated examples of the 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar reveal how quickly optimism met resistance. These coins suffered heavy contact marks early in life. They were stored in large mint bags, stacked, moved, and dropped repeatedly. This caused deep abrasions, especially on Eisenhower cheek, jaw, and neck. The fields often show scuffing and dullness even on coins that saw little actual circulation. True wear from spending is often lighter than damage from storage. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of Eisenhower dollars. Many collectors mistake bag damage for circulation wear and undervalue coins with honest surfaces. The Denver Mint production added its own characteristics. Strikes from Denver are generally strong but not flawless. High points on the hair above the ear and the eagle breast feathers often show softness. This softness combined with bag damage makes fully attractive circulated examples scarce. The shocking reality is that a clean natural circulated 1972D Eisenhower dollar with pleasing eye appeal is harder to find than most people believe. Collectors who rush past these coins miss subtle survivors hiding in plain sight. In circulated condition, the value of the 1972D Eisenhower dollar appears simple, but it is deceptive. Most trade between $1 and $3 in the 2025 market. This low number causes many to dismiss the coin entirely. But value is not only about price. It is about availability in quality. Collectors building complete Eisenhower sets must include this date and mint mark. And when they seek coins without harsh damage, the field narrows dramatically. This creates quiet demand that does not show up in price guides, but exists in real transactions. Another layer of intrigue surrounds the 1972 Eisenhower dollar series as a whole, with known reverse design variations involving the Earth depiction above the eagle. Although these varieties are most associated with Philadelphia issues, the existence of design experimentation during this period adds historical weight to all 1972 dollars. The Mint was still refining the series, still learning how the public would respond. This uncertainty is embedded in every coin from that year, including the Denver issues. Emotionally, the 1972D Eisenhower dollar represents persistence. The Mint continued striking a coin the public did not fully embrace. This stubbornness preserved a chapter of American numismatic history that otherwise might have vanished. The coin became a bridge between the large silver dollars of the past and the smaller modern dollars that followed. Its failure taught lessons that reshaped coinage for decades. Collectors who understand this do not chase perfection. They study surfaces. They respect originality. A circulated 1972D Eisenhower dollar with honest wear tells the truth about its journey. It was handled, rejected, stored, and forgotten. Yet it survived intact, bearing symbols of leadership and exploration. This contrast gives the coin depth. In the modern collecting landscape, circulated Eisenhower dollars are gaining renewed respect. Younger collectors are drawn to narrative over hype. They appreciate coins that explain why designs changed and why experiments ended. The 1972D Eisenhower dollar fits this shift perfectly. It is accessible, educational, and emotionally grounded. This coin does not shout. It does not sparkle. It speaks quietly to those willing to listen. It explains how good intentions collide with reality and how history leaves marks not just on nations but on metal. That is the power of the United States 1972D Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition. And this is only the first layer of its story. 1974 Eisenhower dollar. The United States 1974 Eisenhower dollar arrives at a moment when the experiment of the large dollar coin is already showing visible strain. By this year, the dream of widespread circulation is fading, and the coin is drifting into an identity crisis. The Mint continues production, but the public response is clear. This is not a coin people choose. This is a coin they tolerate. That quiet rejection becomes the defining force behind the 1974 Eisenhower dollar, and especially its story in circulated condition. The obverse still carries the powerful image of Dwight D. Eisenhower, steady, unemotional, and authoritative. His portrait does not change, yet the environment around it does. By 1974, America is dealing with inflation, political scandal, and a growing sense of uncertainty. The optimism of the Apollo era feels distant. The image of Eisenhower now represents stability from a past era rather than guidance for the present. This emotional shift affects how the coin is perceived. It is no longer inspiring. It is nostalgic. And nostalgia behaves differently in circulation. The reverse design remains the Apollo 11 eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch. This image once symbolized unity and progress. By 1974, it has become a reminder of what has already been achieved rather than what lies ahead. This subtle psychological change matters. It influences how people interact with the coin. Many Eisenhower dollars from this period were never truly spent. They were set aside, ignored, or returned to banks. This behavior leads to a unique type of wear pattern where coins show heavy bag marks, but limited actual circulation friction. Circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollars often look tired rather than worn. The fields are scuffed. The high points may still retain detail. The cheek of Eisenhower frequently shows clusters of contact marks caused by metal-on-metal impact during storage. The eagle feathers on the reverse often appear flat not from use, but from weak strikes combined with abrasion. This combination confuses new collectors who assume heavy circulation, when in reality the damage occurred before the coin ever reached a pocket. The Philadelphia Mint struck the 1974 Eisenhower dollar in large numbers. The goal was availability, not scarcity. This abundance creates a false sense of worthlessness. Most circulated examples trade near face value even in 2025. This low market price hides the deeper truth. The challenge is not finding the coin. The challenge is finding one with clean surfaces, balanced toning, and honest wear. Collectors who understand this begin to look beyond price guides and focus on survival quality. The shocking reality is that truly attractive circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollars are far less common than the mintage numbers suggest. Many coins were damaged beyond aesthetic recovery early in their life. This makes original problem-free circulated pieces quietly desirable. They do not command dramatic prices, but they command respect within serious collections. These are coins that escaped the worst of the system by chance alone. Emotionally, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar represents endurance. The mint continued striking a coin even as its usefulness declined. This persistence preserved a design philosophy that was already becoming obsolete. The coin stands as a lesson in how institutions resist change even when evidence demands it. That lesson is frozen in copper nickel-clad and carried forward through time. In circulated condition, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar becomes a study piece. It teaches collectors how to read surfaces, how to identify bag damage, and how to separate wear from mishandling. It also teaches restraint. Not every valuable coin is expensive. Some are valuable because they explain why things changed. The end of large dollar coinage did not happen suddenly. It eroded year by year. And the 1974 issue sits firmly in that erosion zone. As the years pass, collectors begin to re-examine coins like this one. They realize that failure leaves clearer fingerprints than success. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar did not succeed in circulation. But because of that, it survived in large numbers and preserved the evidence of its own rejection. This paradox gives it lasting importance. This coin does not demand attention. It waits. It waits for collectors who value understanding over hype and history over speculation. In the modern market, those collectors are increasing. They look at circulated Eisenhower dollars not as leftovers, but as documents. And the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is a full page in that document. This is the opening chapter of its story. A story defined not by rarity but by resistance. Not by beauty but by truths. And as with all honest coins, its value grows not from what it was meant to be, but from what it became. The second half of the United States 1974 Eisenhower dollar story moves beyond surface damage and into meaning, because by the time this coin settled into circulation, its role had already changed. This was no longer a coin fighting for acceptance. It was a coin waiting for retirement. That quiet waiting period shaped how these dollars were treated, stored, and eventually remembered. Collectors who study circulated examples today are not just looking at metal. They are reading the behavior of an entire economy frozen in motion. By 1974, banks were already aware that Eisenhower dollars moved slowly. These coins sat in vaults stacked in heavy canvas bags pressed together under their own weight. The result was pressure marks, rim nicks, and deep abrasions that mimic years of circulation, even when the coin never left the banking system. This is why some circulated examples show sharp detail alongside brutal surface damage. This contradiction is one of the defining diagnostics of the 1974 issue. Understanding it separates casual observers from serious students. Another shocking element is how many 1974 Eisenhower dollars were quietly melted years later during metal recovery programs and inventory reductions. This was not widely publicized, and no official rarity resulted, but it reduced the number of surviving problem-free coins more than most people realize. What remains today is a population skewed toward damaged examples. This makes original circulated survivors increasingly noticeable to trained eyes. In the 2025 market, circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollars remain affordable, typically trading between $1 and $4, depending on condition, eye appeal, and originality. Yet pricing fails to reflect the educational and historical importance of the coin. Collectors building narrative-driven collections actively seek examples that clearly display the era characteristics of the series. These coins become visual evidence of why the Eisenhower dollar experiment ended. The end came not with anger but with indifference. And indifference leaves scars. The mint reduced production in later years and shifted focus towards smaller, more practical dollar formats. The lessons learned from the Eisenhower dollar directly influenced the Susan B. Anthony dollar that followed. That coin would inherit a different set of problems, but its existence was shaped by the failure of the large dollar. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar stands near the center of that transition. Emotionally, this coin represents quiet decline. There was no announcement, no celebration, no farewell. It simply faded from relevance. That fading is visible in circulated examples. The metal tells the story through marks, toning, and wear patterns. Collectors who handle these coins feel the weight of something being phased out. In modern numismatics, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar occupies a unique position. It is not rare enough to excite speculators and not common enough in high quality to be ignored. It sits in a middle ground where understanding creates value. Collectors who appreciate that middle ground form long-term relationships with coins like this one. They do not flip them. They study them. A circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollar with honest surfaces and balanced wear becomes a teaching tool. It explains why size matters in coin design. It explains how public behavior shapes survival. And it explains why mintage numbers alone mean nothing without context. This is why advanced collectors quietly respect this coin even if the market remains calm. The United States 1974 Eisenhower dollar does not end with a dramatic finale. It ends with a lesson. And lessons endure longer than trends. This coin reminds us that not every experiment succeeds, but every experiment leaves evidence. For those willing to look closely, the evidence is still here, held in the palm of your hand, waiting to be understood. 1978 D Eisenhower dollar. This is the definitive cinematic exposé of the 1978 D Eisenhower dollar. This coin is the final titan of American currency. It represents the ultimate death of the large dollar coin era. Stop everything you are doing and check your safes immediately, because the 1978 D dollar hides a shocking fortune that is exploding in the 2025 market. The year 1978 was a moment of profound change for the United States Mint. This was the final year that the massive 3.8-centimeter Eisenhower dollar was produced before the government shrunk the dollar to the size of a quarter. The Denver Mint was tasked with striking over 33 million of these heavy metallic giants. Because this was the final year of production, most people believe that the 1978 D is just a common souvenir. They are dangerously wrong. This massive production run created a condition rarity trap that only the most elite collectors understand. Because these coins were so large and heavy, they were often damaged the moment they left the press. They were tossed into giant ballistic bags where they collided with one another like metallic hammers. This created deep scratches and bag marks that ruined the surfaces of millions of coins. Finding a 1978 D in a perfect state of preservation is a statistical miracle. The first shocking secret of the 1978 D is the condition rarity explosion. Most circulated examples you find today are worth only their face value of $1. But the value goes vertical the moment you look at professional grading. In the 2025 market, a common 1978 D in Mint State 65 is worth about $20 to $40. However, if you find a specimen that was tucked away in an original mint bag and has zero scratches with a brilliant satin luster, the price jumps significantly. A certified Mint State 66 coin is now worth $100 to $200. The real shocker is the Mint State 67 grade. These are virtually flawless coins that survived nearly 50 years without a single mark. Only a few hundred have ever been certified at this level. A 1978 D in MS 67 is now worth over $3,500. If you are lucky enough to find one that earns a plus designation or reaches MS68, you are looking at a $10,000 coin. The second major secret is the Talon head variety. This is a dramatic die clash error that occurred at the Denver Mint. When the two dies struck each other without a coin blank in between, the design from the back was impressed onto the front. This created a jagged line on the back of Eisenhower's head that looks exactly like a bird's claw or a talon. Collectors are currently obsessed with finding this specific error. A 1978 D Talon head in high grade can sell for hundreds of dollars more than a regular strike. You must use a magnifying glass to check the area behind Ike's ear and neck. If you see those sharp claw-like lines, you have found a numismatic treasure. Another area of hidden wealth is the Moon era varieties. The reverse of this coin features the iconic Apollo 11 mission Eagle landing on the Moon. On some 1978 D strikes, the Moon details are distorted or feature extra craters due to die fatigue or grease filling the dies. These minor errors add significant premiums for specialized Eisenhower collectors. You must also keep a sharp eye out for transitional metal errors. While the Denver Mint only officially produced copper-nickel-clad dollars in 1978, the Mint had 40% silver blanks from previous years still in the facility. There is a constant search for 1978 D struck on a 40% silver planchet. If you find one of these, it would be the discovery of the century. You must check the edge of every coin for a copper stripe. If the edge is solid silver, you must weigh the coin immediately. A standard clad dollar weighs 22.68 grams. A silver error would weigh 24.59 grams. Such an error could sell for over $15,000 in the current market. The story of the 1978 D Eisenhower dollar is a story of the end of an era. It is a coin that marks the transition into the modern world of small dollar coins. It is a coin that was designed to be spent, but ended up becoming a treasure map for those who know how to grade surfaces and spot die clashes. Do not let these giant coins gather dust in a drawer. Every single one is a candidate for a massive payday if it has the right luster or a hidden talon. The 2025 market is hungry for these top-tier specimens because they are the last of the big dollars. If you have enjoyed this cinematic deep dive into the secrets of the 1978 D dollar, then you must subscribe to Royal Coin Value USA right now. We are your partner in the ultimate treasure hunt. Make sure to press the bell icon so you are the first to know when we uncover the next hidden fortune in your collection. Share this video with every coin hunter you know, because they might be sitting on a $3,000 Eisenhower right now. Comment below and tell us if you have ever found the Talon head error. We rely on your stories to keep this hunt alive. Thank you for watching, and keep hunting, because the end of an era is where the biggest fortunes are found. We are continuing our deep dive into the shadows of the Denver Mint with part 2 of this monumental investigation. The 1978 D Eisenhower dollar is a metallic trap for the uneducated collector and a gold mine for those with the vision to see beyond the surface. In the 2025 market, the hunt for the perfect specimen has reached a fever pitch. We must discuss the secret impact of the Big Sky Hoard, which was a massive discovery of original mint bags in Montana. This hoard contained thousands of 1978 D dollars that had never touched human hands. While this increased the supply, it actually created a war for the highest possible grades. Collectors are now fighting over the top 1% of these coins, because the difference between a grade of MS66 and MS67 is thousands of dollars. You must understand that a coin that looks perfect to your eye might still have invisible imperfections that keep it from the elite price brackets. The most shocking aspect of the 1978 D is the hidden world of machine doubling versus true hub doubling. Many hunters find coins with blurry letters and think they have hit the jackpot. This is often just mechanical doubling caused by a loose die during the striking process, which adds no real value. But if you find a true doubled die where the image was doubled on the hub itself, you are looking at a rare and valuable asset. In 2025, a certified 1978 D doubled die obverse can sell for $500 to $1,000, even in mid-range uncirculated condition. You must look specifically at the motto "In God We Trust" and the 4 digits of the date. True doubling will show a clear separation of the serifs on the letters. This is the difference between a common spending coin and a professional investment. We must also talk about the psychological shift in the 2025 market regarding these big dollars. Investors are moving away from common gold and silver and into condition rarity. The 1978D is the perfect target because it is the last year of the series. It represents the end of an era of American industrial might. When a coin is the final issue of a long-running design, it always carries a special premium. Auction records from this year show that registry set collectors are paying record prices to secure the best surviving 1978D. A recent sale of a PCGS graded MS67 Plus reached an incredible $7,500. This proves that the market is not just alive, but it is thriving for those who can find the best quality. Another secret involves the strike quality of the Denver Mint in 1978. Denver was notorious for producing coins with flat details on the eagle's breast and the higher points of Eisenhower's hair. If you find a 1978D with a full sharp strike where every feather on the eagle is distinct and every strand of hair on Ike's head is visible, you have found a masterpiece. This level of detail is rare for the Denver Mint and adds an invisible premium that standard price guides do not show. This is what we call eye appeal. In the 2025 market, a coin with exceptional eye appeal can sell for double the price of a standard coin in the same grade. You must also be aware of the clipped planchet errors. During the manufacturing of the metal blanks, sometimes the punch overlaps with a hole already made. This results in a 1978D with a crescent-shaped piece missing from the edge. Because these dollars are so large, a major clip is extremely dramatic and highly collectible. A 1978D with a 20% clip can sell for $300 to $600. If you find a coin that is missing a massive chunk, do not throw it away thinking it is damaged. It is a genuine mint error that was caught in the giant machines of the Denver Mint. The weight of your 1978D is your final defense against being fooled. Every serious collector in 2025 must own a high-precision digital scale. The standard weight of 22.68 grams is your baseline. Any deviation of more than a few points of a gram could indicate a wrong planchet error. There are rumors of $1978 struck on thinner planchets intended for foreign coins that were being produced at the Denver Mint at the same time. If your coin is thin and light, it could be a $1,000 discovery. The story of the 1978D is far from over. As more original bags are opened and more coins are sent to grading services, the rarity of the perfect MS68 remains absolute. This coin is a testament to the power of the American economy at the end of the 1970s. It is a heavy piece of history that commands respect. Do not be the person who lets a rare talon head or a high-grade gem slip through your fingers because you were too busy to look closely. The fortune is in the details. If you have stayed with us through this entire deep dive, you are now ahead of 99% of the people who search for coins. You have the knowledge to spot the errors and the grades that matter in the 2025 market. Do not forget to subscribe to Royal Coin Value USA and hit that bell icon so you never miss our next shocking discovery. Share this video with your fellow collectors and let them know that the big dollar era ended with a bang. Comment below if you have checked your 1978D for the talon head or if you have found a high-grade specimen in a mint set. Your discoveries fuel this channel and keep the hunt alive for everyone. Thank you for watching, and remember that your next big payday is waiting in the coins you already own. Keep your eyes sharp and your scales ready because the treasure hunt never ends. Thank you for watching the entire video. You can tell us in the comments what we should make the next video about.